how I paint watercolor portraits. But first, let's enjoy this view. What you will need. So we have sketchbook, watercolor, some pencil, or preferably whatever you want, and some paint brushes to paint, of course. And the most important, water. I recommend getting a sketchbook that's for watercolor or like a mixed media. You can hear how thick it is, and that's what's the best for watercolor because you will be needing quite a lot of water. So let's start with sketching our subject. I am using the red colored pencil. You can use whichever you want. It's perfectly fine as long as it's not thick because we'll be using watercolor. After I sketch, I block out the light and shadow concept. So watercolor, it's best to do this firsthand because you cannot really, cover it up at the end. So my pro tip is to do this at the earliest hand, which is to look at where the shadow and light is, and then so it will be easier for you. This is gonna be like a very light coating to know where, like, it's basically just to cover up the face and to tone it, as you could say that. So I'm just gonna spread that all over into my painting. And also this is also the time where you can also see where the values are or the shadows. So for example, in here I'm gonna leave that out for the highlights, and over here it's completely gonna be wet with this, so leave some part for the highlight, because in watercolor you can't really undo it, if you've already put it in the paper. So it's best to plan it out first, and then you can do whatever you want next. So I'll be mixing this burnt sienna kind of with the blue to make a brown, and we are going to use that for the shadow for the hair. Just blocking out the dark and the light, as I said. And done. Now is drying it off. The thing about watercolor is you have to have some patience, which is fine and fun and boring at some time, but it's relaxing. I'm trying to fan it out right now to make it dry completely, but yeah, you can use whatever you want. Okay, so it's now like a little bit dry, half dry, but the hair is not yet that 100% dry, so we're gonna go with the face. Or while waiting, you can actually just do the background first and then let it dry, and then you can just go here and then here and then here and then here. So you can just do whatever you want, to be honest. I'm gonna add more of this guy, and also now we're trying to make it a bit more pigmenty, so less color and more pigmenty. I am just gonna put it there. This is gonna be my mid-tone, but also in a shadowy way. And also if you made a mistake or something, but as I say, there's no such a thing as mistake in art. It just doesn't go the way you planned it, so you can just dab it and then it will be gone. Right now I'm just laying down colors. This is like wet on wet technique, where the paper is wet with water and then you just put all of the colors in there, and then they will mix naturally all together. While waiting for the face to dry, I will be doing the background and just laying down some colors. This is again the wet on wet technique, and I love this technique because it makes an interesting textures. Okay, so she is now dry. I am just now gonna pick, I guess, a smaller brush like that, and then get into the details, basically for the eyes, like so. So I'm basically just gonna use blue with, I'm gonna add some black on it, and then yeah, put it there. I'm gonna use this brush. Wait, am I even showing it right? Because this brush is actually much more thicker when it comes to paint. So I mixed this one with the yellowish one to make the skin tone color a bit pop, and then I'm just gonna put it like paint it. See, it's now like not too watery, so I'm gonna use this one for like shadowing, I guess. And then I'm gonna try water her down by basically adding water to the brush and then just mixing it in the paper, trying to mix it, you know. And then I'm gonna add some blue for our cool tone, very light color of blue, just like that pinch. We're gonna do in the lips and do some minor detail. First is we're gonna block the colors in, and then after do that, I make the palette a bit more darker, like that. And then we're gonna do at the same time the nose. So we're gonna work faster in here. Now we're gonna make it a bit more like noticeable for the shadow, that there's actually some shadowing in there. So now we are finishing. I'll be doing some touch-ups for the darker colors, which is going to be the hair and so forth. Mixing brown for the hair, the light color. And remember that hair also has some lights and shadows. So I'll be using brown in here to reflect the sunlight. And finishing up, doing some detail work for the eyebrows, eyes, and so forth.